Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 2, Anxi versus ColorFul here on Bright and Dark. Anxi spawning as the blue Undead player here on the top right hand side of Bright and Dark. Meanwhile, on the bottom left hand side we have ColorFul spawning as the red Night Elf. I'm going to speed things up here to the 2-minute mark and get things underway. So far, game 1 was an interesting opening with ghouls and gargoyles, but not your typical strategy, as they just completely bypassed obsidian statues altogether and went straight to frostworms. Did not work out well for Anxi, and I am now curious to see if Anxi is going to perhaps rethink his strategy. Meanwhile, ColorFul is already moving off over here and opted to get a warden this time instead of a demon hunter. Alright, there's a shadow strike onto a ghoul. That ghoul has seen better days, will end up falling at the hands of the warden, now possibly giving level 3, but there are a lot of ghouls now in play here, as the ghouls are now fighting back against the warden here. That Ancient of War will end up taking a little bit more damage, and the warden will get that second ghoul before the even 3-minute mark. So the warden already up 2 ghouls, and that is a very big deal. Up 30 seconds, getting the experience. And now, as the fight goes on, things are just going to get relatively worse and worse for the Undead. Undead with no experience. Warden about more than halfway there. There's Abolish Magic getting another kill there. There's a Death Coil to try and slow things down there, as we may see another Abolish Magic. That Warden trying to get some kills off, and that Ghoul still getting a little bit slowed. May end up getting another Death Coil to try and stay alive, and does stay alive long enough, as more skeletal minions now being added. That Ghoul trying to walk all the way back. The Warden without enough mana, now going to be heading back home, as all of that creeping has pretty much been negated or stopped in its tracks, as the Warden now being forced to perhaps go back to the Moonwells. Now this is going to be a problem though. The Warden with Moonwells does mean additional shadow strikes, and that's something that the Death Knight can't really afford to deal with. Meanwhile, back over here, frost armor on these rogues are going to make it very, very difficult for these ghouls to finish off the target. The Death Knight is going to be standing at very low experience for quite some time, as there it goes, and down goes a wisp. Alright, Ancient of War ensnare onto the archer. Death Knight, now out of mana, will not be able to easily steal this Broodmother at all, as the Warden still has plenty of experience there. Potion of Invulnerability now level 2 on that Warden, and that Warden still getting some rather easy targets. May try to go after another skeletal minion as well. Alright, let's take a look back over here. Gloves of Haste, Rune of the Watcher, low hit point or some low hit point ghouls. Death Knight now on the board with some experience at 144, after clearing out what I believe to be a 3-3-3 creep camp. Meanwhile, level 2 on that Warden, getting closer and closer to level 3, and we still haven't seen the Warden or any of these units try and clear out the important Thundered Lizard and Greater Void Walker creep camps with those Runes of Rebirth. Death Knight still wandering around in circles, gonna perhaps head down over here and take down a couple of rogues, picking up, I believe, another Watcher rune, and getting to level 2 for that all-important Unholy Aura for that faster movement speed. Now, taking a look at what we're seeing here, we are going into a graveyard. There is no second crypt, so it is not guaranteed gargoyles as of yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Even though Anxi did not do all too well with that strategy in the previous game, it didn't look like he was out of place trying to attempt that strategy. That strategy didn't work as neatly and clearly as he should, as he got caught out of position, and that Book of the Dead just gave extra piercing damage that he was not accounting for when he attacked with gargoyles and frostworms. Now, what's happening here, as the Death Knight now looks to back off. He's taking a quick look around, might see, sees a wisp, gonna be able to get off an easy hit. It looks like the wisp able to hide in between the trees, and that is just always annoying for anyone that is not a Night Elf player, being able to hide those wisps in spots where units can never possibly get to them.
Our forces are under attack.
Back off to the north here. Void Walker is going to get cleared out. That's the Death Knight Now Staff of Teleportation back over here. It looks like there is a Warden here, a level 2 or level 3 Warden with level 2 Shadow Strike, and that means another Ghoul is going to end up getting taken down. So far, that Warden has taken a fair bit of damage, but the Death Knight is going up against a Warden on Blight. The Death Knight should really be coming out ahead here, except the fact that the Warden has a good amount of mana. There is another Shadow Strike there, going after or taking out another unit, as the Warden perhaps should, if it could, blink to the back, take down another easy Ghoul, and perhaps deal even more damage. There is another Shadow Strike. Death Knight unable to do much as a quick Frost Nova takes out that Warden there. Another thing different this time around, no longer a solo hero, gonna add a Lich to the mix. And now with an almost level 3 Death Knight and a current level 1 Lich, that does give a little bit more gas in the tank, or firepower, so to speak, for ColorFul. ColorFul only had to deal with one Death Knight before, and even then that Death Knight wasn't gaining experience as quickly as it should have. Warden sitting at level 3, but we all know that a single Warden at level 6 can really take apart an undead army if you are caught unaware. If that Warden gets to level 6, the Avatar of Vengeance causes so many problems, as we're now looking at Howl of Terror being used by the Overlord to reduce the amount of damage that these skeletal minions and these ghouls are doing. Not going to be a big problem though. Death Knight at level 3, Lich still seen at level 1. If the Death Knight backed off, I believe the Lich would actually get to level 2. Gonna be a little bit shy. Yeah, 2 experience shy there, but there's the Draenei Watcher, so it is all a moot point, as the Lich now sitting at level 2 and the Death Knight sitting comfortably at level 3. Warden now looking to clear out the Elven Gates on the left-hand side of the map at the 9 o'clock position. Should be heading straight south, taking down this Thunder Lizard. Meanwhile, it looks like the Death Knight and the Lich are making their rounds at their mercenary camp here. They may try and pick up some healers as well. The Draenei Seer level 6 gonna end up falling pretty quickly, but no real big problem there. All right, Thunder Lizard about to go down. Warden taking a lot of damage there. There was a potion of greater mana. I believe the Warden is just going to use the replenishment potion, and as soon as this creep camp is done, regenerate mana and hit points, and then picked up that potion of greater mana. That Warden going to be extremely healthy for that upcoming fight. Rejuvenation and rejuvenation, 2 forms of rejuvenation on that Warden. That Warden just regenerating so many hit points, looking very strong now. Death Knight sitting at level 3. Let's take a look. Warden sitting at level 4, getting very close to level 5. Couple skeletal minions now taken down. Meanwhile, off to the north, Lich still sitting at level 2, going after a tracker. The 644 creep camp. Lich is taking a lot of damage and didn't really get that much experience, as once again the Death Knight is nearby. The Lich may be in a little bit of trouble as a Fan of Knives goes down. A lot of damage has been dealt. Frost Nova going down onto a bear. The bear now getting a rejuvenation, trying to get away, but that -5 armor really amplifying the amount of damage that it is taking. Scroll of Town Portal now being used, as we see another Shadow Strike in order to take down a unit. I believe it was in fact the Lich. Lich has fallen at level 2. ColorFul now moving forward with his bears and the Warden and a Thunder Lizard. This is a very large army, 49 over 50 compared to 37 over 50. And if the Death Knight is caught unaware, this is going to go from bad to worse. And here we have it. Death Knight, without a Scroll of Town Portal, may end up getting caught here, losing a Crypt Fiend, and knowing that that is pretty much going to be the game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 2-game set.